It's a pay as you go. Mm-hmm. Yep. 1 minute. Fine with slideshow software. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my. That's impressive. What kind of stuff are you using those agents for? Wow. Mm. Yeah. 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 Well, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. If you're trying to get away with using the, like I said, the main subscription, they want you to for agentic workflows. Let me get audio fix. They want you to use the API, pay as you go for the agentic stuff. Okay, about to. Yeah, it is. It is intensive. I did experience. We went with GPT OSS 20B. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. It's expensive to run the open source models, even though they are pretty capable, they're still nowhere near the hyperscaler ones. I did get GPT OSS 20B running on 490 series cloud instance. However, yeah, still nowhere near what you get from either OpenAI's or Anthropic. That's not what I wanted to show. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so about to go over just a quick presentation over basically a few of the OpenClaw alternatives. Everyone able to hear and see the screen? Good. Okay. So again, there are quite a few, but a few of the major ones I'm going to go over in this presentation are NetBot, PicoClaw, ZeroClaw, and NoClaw. And again, just comparing their security, performance, user-friendliness, and feature offerings. Again, first of all, NetBot, an open source Python alternative to OpenClaw. PicoClaw, that is a Golang one, actually developed by a software AI hardware company. This one's actually intended for use on such as a Raspberry Pi, small computers. ZeroClaw Rust based, also creates basically the overall. Yes. Yeah, can you see my screen? Okay. ZeroClaw, the overall most feature-rich one. It's actually one I'm going to demo in Docker. And where it stands out, it's again Rust-based. It can also be run on a Raspberry Pi or a small microcomputer. And has the best sandboxing as well as guardrails I've noticed so far between. And Nocla, the most smallest actually Zig, which is kind of a variant of C. It to an extent still use the LLVM compiler. This one is actually the least resource intensive of them all. Smallest. Very small controller. And fortunately, the UI is not really built into it. There isn't a third-party UI that could be installed as a second external package, or through its integrating through external web server. But yeah, it's ideally for terminal-based workflows. But yeah, all three. The first one I bought, PicoClaw, ZeroClaw, do have their own built-in UIs. PicoClaw can also be run headless as well as ZeroClaw. I'm actually going to try give a quick show the demo of those. But yeah, as well as Nocla. I have that running on a VM at the moment, with as well as PicoClaw. Fortunately, I won't be able to demo NanoBot for this time, but again, main idea with these are, again, as you know, OpenClaw became so popular very quickly. Viral project. However, again, there's been security concerns with these, with OpenClaw, and also the use of these for agentic platforms as well. That's where coming into guardrails comes in hand. I did a presentation on overall basics of how you want to implement secure agentic AI. That was last week. I can post a link in that meetup page for that recording. And as you can see, multiple forks to attack various weaknesses. Again, one being resource footprint. OpenClaw is pretty resource heavy, though still it can run in a VM. But the other ones are much more efficient, better security, better code readability, and also even support for edge hardware such as like in Raspberry Pi or small microcontrollers. Okay. You have the 4 alternatives. Sure, I'm not plugging. Actually, sorry about that. Okay. Mesh table. Let me get rid of this window there. As you can see here, now bots Python, about 26, still about almost 30K GitHub stars. Still quite popular. Uses 256 meg RAM, still much less than OpenClaw. And for being Python, kind of up around C, it still has quite a bit of startup time. Cold start. And again, the cold starts are kind of subjective. But from my experience, PicoClaw is still fast, still 25K, much less memory usage, and 8 meg binary. Then you have ZeroClaw, Golang, PicoClaw is Golang, ZeroClaw is Rust, even smaller on memory usage, less memory, smart binary, and even faster startup time. Then even following Nocla, the smallest one, based off Zig, it's a very early one. Hardly any, less than a meg of memory, or about meg. Binary is only 678 kilobytes. However, again, as I mentioned, ZeroClaw does not include a built-in UI by default, so it's all TUI, text user interface. Or, like I said, if you're playing on the SSHing it to a, like I said, Raspberry Pi, that meets your needs with right there. Okay. Now again, security. The big push for these as they become so popular. Both ZeroClaw and NoClaw lead with compile-time memory safety. Over again with Zig, it's kind of manage your own memory, but and both are good multi-layer sandboxing, especially ZeroClaw. Okay. Again, ZeroClaw, Rust, nice buffalo overflows, and use after free at compile time. And also local hosted binding. So basically you can't be lazy. Set the UI for ZeroClaw be public facing network adapter. You have to use a VPN such as Tailscale and Grok, or Cloud4 Tunnel, or you could just again SSH versus Tunnel. It does follow the 6-digit one-time pairing code every time the gateway starts up. And also workspace only file system scope. This is actually one of the big things I really appreciate about ZeroClaw, and I'll demo is the agent can only change files within the workspace, not its configuration. It can't, like I said, you have a faulty MCP server coded in. It can't, say there's an issue with it, find a replacement MCP server and throw that into the config, which if you watched the demo video I did last week, you'll see OpenClaw actually do that, which is very risky. And of course, symlink escape detection and API encryption for secrets. ZeroClaw does encrypt, like I said, if you have to store your Anthropic API key, it'll keep it encrypted. Now it's stored in plain text, unlike not OpenClaw. And then you, like I said, with NoClaw, it's Zig-based, very fast language. The idea with Zig is to compete with C. There's no garbage collectors, so if you're good, like I said, manually managing your memory in your programming, yeah. And then multi-layer sandbox. Again, both of these support sandboxing. Primary approach for sandboxing is through Docker. I have not tried the Landlock or FireJail bubble wrap approaches, but yeah. And also, like ZeroClaw, the gateway does refuse public bind without active tunnel, so you can't have it listen on public interfaces. Questions so far?
What are the downsides, I guess, other than just the security?
Downsides, again, the LLM, especially Anthropic, Sonnet, in my experience, will try to update config files And zero clause, but zero clause again, secured by default guardrails will block that. So you're just burning tokens at the moment. But
Why would it try to do that? What is it trying to accomplish?
it's basically tried to do what works in OpenClaw, the LLM itself. But of course, like I said, you have
So
the
there,
guardrails in place to prevent that.
but whatever
Got to
the
the point.
action is that you're trying to
Yeah.
complete, that's requiring it to redo those config files, it probably is like you're not able to get that done, I guess.
And also, ZeroClaw does provide the ability to do an override for sensitive commands. You have to, within the prompt, specify an approve equals true. That's after you, like I said, go through the config for ZeroClaw, which the LLM can't edit itself, and whitelist the commands that needs to do, and also the file paths it needs to access. But even after you do that, it'll still ask it as a sensitive or risky approach command, so it'll require manual approval. Does it make sense to you? What's your question? I can actually, the demo I'll try to show you then. Okay. Again, more about the language choice and how much memory to use. And about, again, being Python's most memory intensive. PicoClaw being Golang, still very efficient. Go single binary. ZeroClaw being Rust, a bit more efficient. And then Nuclaw being the very minimal, the most. Okay. Again, user-friendliness, which one the easiest? That will be, again, just since Nambus Python, it's pip install is really it. There is also a Docker Compose you can run for it. Same with PicoClaw, ZeroClaw, they both have that. Nuclaw, not really much. And the ZeroClaw, there have been actually the main Docker image for ZeroClaw works, but if you're trying to, when you use the Debian Dev one, which gives you full access to tools such as curl, ls, if you need to do something on the file system, or like I said, pull something from web server. That image is currently broken. I did create a fix for this demo. I have not yet got to the point of making a PR for that. But yeah, and then PicoClaw, yeah. It's a Google binary, still has Docker Compose, like the others. And also if you made by a hardware company, so good for, like I said, IoT, small computers such as Raspberry Pi. Nuclaw, if you want to go even small, some very small microcontrollers it can run on. Again, however, Nuclaw docs are less mature. It's still pretty decent compared. Especially go with your OpenClaw, it could be in terms of the security docs, it can be kind of a hit and miss. But yeah. Now, of course, and also again, I would say Nuclaw docs have been, in my opinion, actually better than ZeroClaws, but this again, credit to Anthropic for this presentation. And a feature matrix, you can see here, MCP support, which, as you know, OpenClaw doesn't have native MCP. It's all through MCP Porter. So yeah. Now the voice, text-to-speech kind of, sure that one, well, if the microcontroller does have a microphone, I suppose you can use it for just about all of them, really, but so I'd say that's going to be more on partial on them, but and sandboxing, of course, ZeroClaw and Alclaw do have that. PiccoClaw should, correct. And web UI. First three again now, but PiccoClaw, ZeroClaw do have a web UI. You can see where again where the ZeroClaw UIs work. It's partial. It is kind of buggy here and there. You'll see that, but it does work. And encrypted secrets. That's where ZeroClaw really comes in. It does encrypt them, unlike the others really. And of course, skill management. And they all could be used with local models. Olama. Done a presentation on that a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. That's again using Olama on GPT OSS 20B over hCloud. The video recording, if you do watch the video recording, there is a bit of break in there. This was actually before the SSD I had. It's only about 6 months old. Failed. It was before it was failing. It failed totally. It did fault out and black screened the entire system. And unfortunately, I did not get it to the point where actually saving the Terraform code. So you'll have to, if you want to see that, you have to copy the Terraform configuration from the video. Yes, you have a question, David. Okay. Oh, Claudian, I think, was... I know that thing is with MCP and OpenClaw is kind of interesting. I've seen that if you tell a prompt, if you pass in the path to the MCP server, the LLM, especially if you're using Anthropic Claude, it will read through that, and the LLM will use the MCP server in a way, like I said, not natively with the application, but it would work. It's not efficient, but it does work. But again, what I'm idea here is show native MCP support, which all these have. Not, like I said, developer with OpenClaw is more big fan on the CLI approach. That's why I used a wrapper MCP Porter, which basically wraps the MCP server as a CLI tool. It's not really kind of native, but it's there. But then, even if you don't use MCP Porter and you just, in the prompt, like I said, give the path to the MCP server file, it'll work using with Claude, but it will be pricey.
So based on the features, looks like even though NullClaw is difficult to set up, it has got more features than any other right now.
Circle, it is pretty featureful, definitely, yes. Well, NullClaw is kind of, like I said, it has a everything is broken into pieces, really, including the web UI. There is a web UI for NullClaw. However, it has to be installed separately. And NullClaw does have an interesting ecosystem. It also has NullHub. You can actually go through. 1 minute, I'll show you what nullclaw does have.
Does it have all of the channels, like being able to do Telegram and Discord and everything?
It does, yeah.
That's the default way of communicating, or is that something?
You can use that. I've been just using the terminal, so here's the nullclaw prod.
Okay.
Null project. If you go on, of course, all Zig. It's broken down to multiple components. Null hub. ULI for you can set up as boiler. This is, and observability is broken into null watch. Task tracking is null tickets. And if you go into the project, there is even a UI. A separate UI that you have to install separately as well, if you wanted that functionality. And it still does follow the 6-digit setup. To configure that manually, you also have to configure the agent itself to actually listen for this chat UI through WebSocket. So yeah, nullclaw does have the most configuration, but and everything is, like I said, broken down piece by piece. You can install quite a bit. Based off what you want. Back to the presentation. Any questions again? Okay, and of course, I can also match the constraints to the right runtime. Anabot is kindly used for researchers. The team is for Python. However, it is also weakest in the security posture. PicoClaw, again for small microcontroller computers, such as that Raspberry Pi, Edge IoT. ZeroClaw again, more self-hosting. Can also use for IoT devices too. It's best all-rounder and best security defaults. Then of course, yeah, nullclaw the smallest. Well, yeah. Okay, let me bring up my. Tell me I have to start doing screen all up through this. Okay. Now let's go to the nullclaw demo. Let me bring that up. Have to do a black screen. Again, keep the So here you can see null claw, bring in Docker Compose, bring up the agent. And now with native MCP, as you can see here, I am running MCP Jungle, which is open source MCP platform, with a simple calculator app. Now we'll have to update that credential key. I did not mean to share that. However, I do have a small quota. So even if you do get used to it, you'll run into the spending limit real quick. Okay. Let's go to the agent. We can now go through, let's say it's configured, select to use MCP, so you list available MCP cert. Equals. You can see MCP Jungle. I'm just using the TUI for zero claw here. I'll show you the UI shortly. And with this, you can see native MCP. MCP Jungle is basically a wrapper proxy. These are just basic calc add. And here is the zero claw UI. Very basic. You can, like I said, that. However, if you want to do something like configure, just be, like I said, adding another tool, the Brave Search. So we're going to run into the guardrail.
So, did you configure this, or this is out of the box, like a fresh install?
This is all mostly fresh install. The only real thing I configured was MCP Jungle. If you go to configuration, actually, yeah, see it does mask the API key. It's been fed in, or that's being fed in as Docker Compose container image environment file.
What was the environment that, did show your API key? So this environment's not going to show the API key?
No, it can't.
What was the other one?
That was just Docker Compose, which I'm running from. Right now I'm running this in Docker Compose environment with, like I said, zero claw and MCP Jungle. So let's go with option 1. Here is that API key. I'll get a fake API key. Of course, with this, it does say it's outside the file system access boundary, which is again a really good secure by default. Yeah, it'll just give you, like I said, in this case, the prompt. I mean, base instructions, how to configure it. Go to that memory. Again, just referencing the memory, and this is all stored on a local SQLite database, which is similar approach used by PicoClaw and NoClaw as well. Some of these also support if you want an external Postgres database. It's not alternative, but yeah.
So you're saying this is the local memory storage, but you could use a database for your memory storage?
You can,
What would be the benefit of that?
if you're in a compliant environment, I could see that. Or you want better persistency on something external, such if you're, but even if you're running in a Kubernetes environment, you can do, like I said, volume mount, just volume claim. So use SQLite, but once again, just the default configuration for. Some memory UI can be a little buggy here and there. Well, yeah. Zero Cloud specifically focus on SQLite. A few of the others, like I said, do support Postgres, or so, but other databases. Yeah, here. So it's configured for SQLite. I have a cost checker, which kind of never seen it work. Like I said, the UI does get a little buggy at times. It's still,
What model are you running on here?
Sonnet 4.6. But here's, like I said, the UI. It does have a dashboard. Cost overview, it kind of, like I said, doesn't really work well, but it's there. If logs, don't have that configured though. This is support for scheduled jobs. Can you add a scheduled job, basically using cron. And this kind of useful-ish. This is the agent tools. And you configure external ones. It's miss. It doesn't really pull from HTTP MCP tools, which going into that MCP jungle is basically a gateway proxy for MCP tools. The simplest open source ones you can set up. That is, I'll actually show you the configuration. MCP. Yeah. You can install, like I said, that you'll install or configure the MCP servers into MCP Jungle. MCP Jungle is just your proxy. This is better for security, as again the agent doesn't see the credentials. And also you can control, enable, disable tools. There is currently a bug with MCP Jungle where the save function seems to hit and miss whether it wants to actually disable a tool or not. But that is where we go back to agent. tools. It's enabled. Those are all that's enabled, yeah. I showed you zero claw. I do have a quick demo for low claw. I can show you 1 minute. I got my other thing.
I missed it. Did he say he was coming right back, or? Yeah, I can't hear you anymore if you're talking, Joshua.
There we go. Is this better now?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I can hear you. It's way better. Holy cow. If your mic sounded like this the entire session, that would have been amazing. But yeah, I can't see your screen. I don't know if you're sharing still. But yeah, your mic sounds a lot better.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Just press this cam. Okay. Here is again my null-claw and pico-claw deployments. Let's log into our pico-claw, or null-claw first. If I can type. Not yet. Here goes. Let's go into our null-claw deployment. We have it already built out, so it'll be under zig out. And here, yeah. Do, like I said, it's basically your 2i, user interface. Board yet. Really don't like, and this is just a vanilla install. And that this everything will be into the config JSON, which is yeah. Go back. Enter vim. go to see. Yeah, well, again, I just showed you we're set up, but getting default channel CLI as shown. Does support OpenRouter out of the box. However, if you want to use Anthropic directly, you can. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. Yeah. Now let's go to Pico Cloud. Any questions so far? Should be doing. This one was installed. And this one also uses the config JSON approach as well. So if we go .pico directory. I can post these Terraform scripts on the main page for reference. However, as you can see here, the config, because I really don't have the whitelisting of commands like OpenClaw. Do you have Claw Hub? You can configure, like I said, everything else. And you also do have native MCP like ZeroClaw, I showed. Back to, like I said, what channels IRC. Now here, it's an interesting one with Malco specifically. It can support multiple databases, as you can see here, Postgres, Redis, from memory. also has agent-to-agent support. And Grow Tunnel, Cloudflare tunnel support built in as well. All these are built in. Sandboxing. So yeah, I'm gonna go through what Pickle has again. So native MCP. Has text to speech. And put a control here for what it can do, kind of vague. Or, but like I said, if you want to prevent it from writing to a file, you can set that to false, for example, or if you want to prevent it from selling a skill. Force it by default, it does have that true, but and of course, yeah, like I said, he has cloud skills. Any questions? No, that's all I have for this evening's presentation. Yeah. The demo.
Thank you very much, dude. This was actually really helpful for me, surprisingly.
Yeah, and I can, like I said, I'll post the Terraform scripts if you want to play around with these on, right now running these on OVH Public Cloud, which is based on OpenStack, but it's kind of a pain to, like I said, configure the Anthropic key for each and every one as we go, but yeah.
I have questions for you,
Yeah.
kind of regarding my specific project. I don't know if like now's a good time or.
Sure.
So yeah, I kind of talked to you about my project at the beginning, and so I think that, so I'm not a dev person as much. I am a computer science student, but I'm a college student and I still have a lot to learn. When it comes to all of these different environments, I think that I kind of figured out about it as I was vibe coding it, and sort of realized that there's these different use cases that I kind of could use different environments for, and then it sort of, you know, came to my lap. But what ended up happening is, so it shows me Zero Claw, it showed me Nano Claw, Open Claw, and then I have like this coding agent, which is basically just the this is actually Codex, I think, but it was, the idea was having Claude code inside of a container, because I wanted to be able to use MCPs, and at this point I didn't know that OpenClaw had MCP usage. And what ended up happening is that, yes, I was running into all of these problems where the native OpenClaw, using Claude, it was having the caching issue, I guess. So I was using an insane amount of tokens.
Yeah,
For simple,
OpenCloud will use
simple
the same amount of tokens if you're trying to do MCP with it. That's the big drawback.
But yeah, so my plan with this website is that, yes, I want to have public marketplace agents that have kind of a full build out. So you're able to just run it, and it's able to say, hey, give me some API keys to whatever it needs, basically, to run a full automation. Can make you money, and not have the hallucination where it's got to deal with other workspaces and projects that it might get it confused with. You know what I mean? So yeah, I saw that all of these different environments had different use cases, and I think that what it ended up doing is it's created these Docker images, which are all just basically OpenClaw, and then it's kind of decided to remove different tools, um, and trying to make it slightly lighter weight, but I don't think it's actually using these different like environments, and it kind of just like stole the name of Zero Claw, but it wasn't actually using a Zero Claw environment. It was using Open Claw and then disabling different tool calls and like trying
It's a
to make it
mess.
lighter weight and cut off its ankles.
Yeah,
Um,
that's gonna be messy.
so
That's why
yes,
that's where again, best for all rounder. Again, Zero Claw. Especially like I said, it works. As shown, it works best even in a containerized environment, which I demonstrated. And you
yeah.
can still get the UI,
If,
even though the
if
UI
I want
is
to,
a bit buggy
if
here
I
and there.
scale up and I have hundreds of users and everything, especially I want to be able to have the ability where somebody can come on here and they can try it for free with a single cloud agent. I don't want to give them a full open claw container on my server. Otherwise it's going to be, you know, massively bloated right away. But something like if they got a free zero claw or like a null claw environment that they could run in a container, like I wouldn't worry about that, you know.
It's much more. Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
didn't
Yes.
know if you had some insights as far as what environments you know would help me out with my different use cases, or just like use cases in general. If I was going to narrow it down to a couple different environments, I don't know if you've used Nemo Claw either, and you understand the use case of that. Um, but
I
I was thinking
haven't gotten to that one yet. No.
okay,
But
but
like I
yeah,
said, I just showed you Pico Claw, Zero Claw, and of course No Claw.
hmm so you're more focused on these lighter weight
The
agents.
lighter weight, yeah. Which those are good things if you're trying like do a web service.
Yeah, so for my use case, it is really good, but
But out of the box, again, what I've seen is Zero Claw with MCP Jungle. It's a much more efficient that way because you're basically packaging. MCP Jungle is basically serving as a web service that then
it also
calls the MCP server.
yes. What MCP servers have you
I,
gotten value out of? I guess
I've been using Trello. Gmail's a pain to use. Gmail will
GR.
do Trello. I mean, it's
So should
if
I
you
go
go
to
on
MCP Jungle
mtpservers.org, if you go on
servers?
mtpservers.org, the list of them.
I don't know what's going on with my internet.
Or you could just search for MTP servers. It'll be one of the first links.
It doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't like that one. Here, give me 1 second and just make sure that I don't share anything I shouldn't. Oh yeah, mcpservers.org. That's what
Yeah.
I have been using.
Yeah.
So I just started getting into MCP servers today, really, because of what's been going on with the OAuth with Claude. And one of the things that I was looking into is basically being able to have like an open claw environment MCP server that could have like the persistent memory, but you could run it through Claude Code, so you can still use your Claude Code subscription or your Claude Max subscription, but it would have the benefits of the OpenClaw still.
Well, unfortunately, that's also a terms of service violation with Anthropic anymore. If you use one of these agents with
if you use
the subscription
if you use
service,
that,
yeah. similar
So
approach with
I
what Google's doing and how Google uses the same kind of login form for every app. That's where
so I specifically was asking Claude thinking how to avoid like having a terms of service violation and coming up with these different ways, um, basically getting around it, but also um, something that they would approve of, I guess. And that's what it came up with was the MCP, as far as being a long term uh, solution to it. Because I know that as soon as so right now I have all of these workarounds. I have the three different workarounds, but after they've given out like the refunds for everything, and then everybody's posting all of these workarounds basically on Reddit and everything.
yeah,
So as soon as
it's not.
as soon as
It's
they
going to
feel
be a
like actually putting down the ban hammer, they're going to actually ban everything. And if you have the $200 subscription and you didn't get the
yeah.
refund or
They
whatever,
will
then
give you a refund. Yeah,
you're gonna actually be banned and not get the money back. And
that's how Google's been doing it with Gemini.
yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
there's absolutely like I tried using Claude Code for the stuff that I need to do, but it's not um yeah, it doesn't support all of the use cases that I want. And I tried different models for what I'm trying to do, and I've tried like everybody's saying like open AIs or like GPT whatever. I've used that and it feels like it's retarded to me compared to Opus
Yeah, GPT OSS,
for
the
OpenClaw.
20B, GPT OSS 20B. Yeah, it's very.
Because everybody's like, oh, just use GPT because you
Yeah.
can still use OAuth on the GPT subscription, but it's like no, this is horrible. So I had to figure out a workaround. But
Yeah,
it was
there's not much
for me
workaround
to
it
do the workaround.
besides.
I had the workaround figured out before they even dropped the ban, basically. So
Yeah, there's not
I
much of a
know that
workaround anymore. But yeah,
I know they're really gonna kill it. But yeah. What was the MCP server that you said that you get value out of?
MCP Jungle, actually.
Okay. Do you have a Discord or a way that I can stay in touch with you? Or I think I can add you on LinkedIn, but um, if I had follow-up questions or if you're interested in helping me out with this project, I'm definitely willing to like work something out with you as far as compensation or um, if you're really willing to help me work on it, uh, like a percentage ownership and stuff too. But I feel like there's a lot of value to it. I don't know if your mic cut out or if you're just not talking.
Okay, there.
Okay, there's your mic.
Timed out.
It did the thing again where it was.
It cuts and it times out. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not paying attention to it. Okay. So here's MCP Jungle. Am I not sharing? I'm not sharing.
I found MCP Jungle on the mcpservers.org. Yeah, I
It's
can
a
see your screen too.
self-hosted AI gateway for agents. And again, with it. Again, like I said, just connect to it as a simple HTTP MCP.
Yeah.
What works for MCP for Zero Claw? Let me pull that up. Following the cursor /copilot approach, just pass the URL. That's what you need for zero club.
Okay.
And if I can go to VS Code, we'll see. Bash. You can exit ad servers.
Are you trying to share what you're doing right now?
I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing. No. Actually, 1 minute.
Were you able to hear me when your microphone cut out?
Yes.
I offer about the website deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard you.
You didn't? Yeah.
Something
I
else.
totally understand you haven't really looked into the website and everything, but if you are open to something like that, or if you know somebody that I'm sure you do these meetings that would be interested in something like that, I'm able to offer compensation or percentage ownership in the project, depending on the level of assistance. But it's something. This one project is what I've been working on with over a month and a half, just constantly, like 8 hours, 12 hours a day. So
okay. There we go. Here we go. We have MCP Jungle. I'm just going to do cat. I named this calc.json. Calc.json right here. Here's the configuration I have for it. Basically using the calculator demo MCP server, servers.org. This is even though it's a stdio MCP. Zero clause able to integrate, access it through here. So let's go. There's this is serverless tools. Maybe bring my cursor down. List of tools. It goes where the first part of the name is the name of the FTP server. So see there, his name is calc. Second part is the name of the tool specifically. So they're all enabled.
Hey Josh.
Yeah.
Hey, I really appreciate it. I do have to take off, but
yeah,
if you are interested, or if I can stay in contact with you, I would really like that. But
sure, just let me message if you have questions.
Okay, where's the best way to message you?
That's been LinkedIn.
Okay.
LinkedIn.
Thank you very much, dude.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too. That's all I have.